Welcome, Wag Wonderment Canine Club, to our breed spotlight. This month we are covering pugs. Pugs are great. We all know them. We all love them. Let's talk about them. If you've ever crossed paths with a pug, and I know you have, you know that there's something different about this dog. They don't just walk into a room. They arrive. They're adorable. They're funny. They're snorty. They have a presence, that's for sure. And today we're going to talk about why pugs have been stealing hearts for over 2,000 years. Let's go. So let's start at the beginning, and we're going way, way back. Pugs originated in ancient China, about 400 BCE. They weren't bred to hunt, herd, or guard. They were bred for one specific thing, and that is to be companions for emperors. These little dogs lived in luxury. Some of them even had their own military escorts. Not bad. From China, pugs made their way through Asia, spending time with Tibetan Buddhist monks in monasteries, where they were kept as devoted companions. Then, in the 1500s, Dutch traders brought them to Europe, and that's where things got really interesting. In Holland, a pug reportedly saved the life of Prince William of Orange by alerting him to enemies approaching. Queen Victoria later fell in love with them, owned dozens of them, and helped establish the breed standards we still use today. So yeah, this wrinkly little dog has a pretty impressive resume. Now, let's talk about what makes a pug a pug. The first thing you need to know is that pugs are companions. They're shadows. They like to follow you around. They like to be with you. They don't really understand the concept of personal space, and honestly, they don't care to learn. They are playful, goofy, and genuinely funny. They seem to know when they're entertaining, and they love it. They love to put on a show. But they also love to do absolutely nothing. They love to lay on the couch, have a nap, and snore loudly. They tend to get along with everyone. They're really social. They're great family dogs. However, pugs are not necessarily easy. They have big personalities. While they're fun to train, you also need to be really patient. And while sometimes they seem like couch potatoes, they also need exercise. So pay attention to what your pug needs. Especially when they're younger, they tend to need a lot more exercise. Done thoughtfully, because they're very sensitive to heat. So let's talk about exercise and enrichment. Here's where owning a pug can take a little bit extra attention. Pugs are a brachycephalic breed, meaning they have flat faces. And this is adorable, but it can mean their airways are compressed. They can't regulate their body temperature like other dogs do, and they can tire out faster. Keep walks and exercise short, giving lots of breaks. Try to avoid exerting in hot temperatures because they won't be able to cool down and they can risk overheating pretty quickly. Seriously, a pug overheating is a medical emergency. You want to be very careful. They do need exercise, but you just need to be thoughtful. Always bring water out with you. Watch them. Notice if they're panting, they're wheezing. Give them a break. Pause. Let them regulate a little bit and bring down that body temperature. You can also focus on mental enrichment. Puzzle feeders, sniffy games, training, light indoor play. These are all great ways to add enrichment and exercise to your pug's life. And let's talk about training your pug. Pugs are super fun to train. Super fun. They are adorable and they are very smart. Pugs tend to be highly food motivated, so you can use food as a reinforcer to train just about anything you want. Keep sessions short. I'd say 5 minutes at a time max with lots of breaks. Always using positive reinforcement. No harsh corrections for these little guys. Start early. Do lots of training when they're young, excited, and very motivated. Of course, stress that gentle, positive socialization so that your pug feels confident and comfortable in every scenario as they get older. And then be consistent. It can be very frustrating to a dog when they're receiving mixed signals. So be really consistent with how you're communicating with them. So, is a pug the right dog for you? Probably. They're pretty great. Pugs are loyal, affectionate, social, and endlessly entertaining. They're truly one of the best apartment dogs on the planet. So if you live in a city, that's a great choice. They don't need a ton of intense exercise. They just need companionship from you, mental enrichment, and definitely some light exercise each day. They do come with responsibility. Take care to avoid overexertion and overheating for your pug. If you want a dog that'll make you laugh every single day, who snores and snorts pretty loudly, and will follow you around everywhere because you are genuinely their whole world, a pug might be exactly what you're looking for. Pugs are a lot packed into a small package, and they are wonderful, wonderful dogs. They're fun to train. They're fun to live with. I have adored every pug I've ever met. Do you have a pug? Do you know a pug? Do you want a pug? Tell us about it in the comments. We can't wait to hear.